I've never prepped a guest.
You've never prepped a guest for the question that's the most important question of the podcast, of our identity, of what Saddle Up is all about. No, it's not. That's not what we're about. But it's part of our chemistry. It's part of our DNA. And you just prepped Coach V. I've never heard this. I've never heard you prep anybody. Oh my gosh. Coach V,
no worries.
Erase it from your memory. Erase it.
1, 2, 1, 2. All right, let's roll.
Welcome. You're listening to the Saddle Up Podcast,
Where we discuss everything related to UTRGV athletics, past or present. We'll catch up with old teammates, friends, and take you down memory lane.
with exclusive interviews.
This is the Saddle Up Podcast, the voice of your covered walkway streets.
So dope.
This is gonna be awesome.
Stay tuned for new episodes every week.
From Bronx Village to the Fieldhouse, we'll cover it all.
Hell yeah, dude. Carpe diem.
So saddle up and let's go.
Let's go. Saddle up, partner.
All right, welcome to another great episode of Saddle Up Podcast, guys. I got my main man G. G's kind of mad at me right now because he's saying that I'm prepping guests on the
Absolutely.
But we'll get into that later. This week we have none other than assistant coach Victoria Pena from the women's basketball team joining us. Victoria, thank you, Coach V, right? Coach V, thank you so much for joining the show. Yeah, we're so blessed to have you this week.
Thank you guys for having me. I'm excited about it. Excited to get to talk to you guys.
Yeah, absolutely. We're excited to ask you some very pertinent questions. This is the deal. We want the Valley, the people from the Valley that don't know who Coach V is, all right? Don't know the legend that she is, all right? From the Valley.
From the Valley. Edinburg High, right?
Edinburg North. No.
Edinburg North.
Oh, God. Hey,
Yeah,
you're
Edinburg
not
North.
helping your cause. You're
Shout
not
out
helping your cause.
Yeah, shout out to the home of Shane and Gavin or Mario Navarro, you know, the Edinburg North.
Mario Navarro.
Yeah.
So Coach V in the house today. So glad to have you. Coach V, tell us, I know, right now what you're doing, and then we're going to rewind a little bit after that, after you tell the audience what you are doing right now at this moment, because everybody wants to know how you got to where you got, and just tell us a little bit about what your job is right now with UTRGV women's basketball.
Well, right now we're getting ready for our players to arrive back from their summer break. Some are graduating high school. We'll be here. So we start workouts next week and get rolling, right? So right now I'm make sure all our gear is ready together because a lot of my responsibilities. I'm also the director of basketball operations. So I got to handle stuff on the back end of things. So all the gear, making sure that they're ready for that, getting locker name plates. We just rebranded to our new UTRGV over Texas logo. So I'm doing some updates in the locker room, graphics wise and stuff. Designing these game jerseys, all of that fun stuff in preparation for the girls to arrive next week and be ready to go. So
Coach V, so what you're saying is you're the backbone of the program.
I try to be, I hope so. So yeah. Just so that the coach worry about the basketball aspect of it. Coach Laura just has to worry about X's and O's, basketball, worry about how the players' well-beings are being after that. But in terms of any little details, equipment wise, scheduling wise, everybody else can lean on me for that. So
how many years have you been at UTRGV?
This is I just finished my 6th season, so I should be starting my 7th this year.
And you entered UTRGV with a coach, not with Coach Lord. Coach Lord.
Actually, I guess with Coach Lord, I'm starting my 7th season with Coach Lord. So when he got hired, he brought me on as director of operations, but it wasn't my first time at UTRGV. I had back in, I think it was 2017, spring of 2017. I worked here as a compliance assistant. And so I got my degree in criminal justice, and so I always thought I wanted to go to law school and study the law. And I interned at a Bexar County District Attorney's office, and I was like, wow, this is not for me. I don't want to sit in an office all day. And so I realized, law school wasn't really that route. And after I worked as a paralegal, I was like, I still don't want to do this. And I miss sports. I really miss being a part of the team and seeing a purpose of like, wow, I'm making people feel better, making them better, grow, develop. And so I talked to some mentors. I came to school. I reached out to the compliance department, see if they needed any help, and they brought me on part-time as a compliance assistant for the spring semester.
Yeah.
And that's when I really got to know the head coach at the time for the women's team was Coach Larry Tidwell. He's a Texas basketball coaching legend in general everywhere.
100%. Shout out to Coach Tidwell.
Coach Tidwell.
And I believe now that's when I first met you. That's when I first met you. It wasn't my end. Exactly now that you mentioned Coach Tidwell. Wow. Yeah.
So Coach Tidwell really helped me out, and he helped me get my foot in the door with my first coaching job at Hill Junior College with Coach Scott Hyland. So
Coach, shout out to Coach.
Yeah. So at the JUCO, you guys know what it's like. I mean, you're doing everything at JUCO, so that was definitely an experience.
Yeah. And then from Hill, you went.
Yeah. So Coach Lane Lord was up for the head coaching job, and the assistant coach I played for at Stephen F. Austin, Coach Andy Majors, was a GA for Coach Lord back at Pitt State back in the day. And Coach Majors is like one of my mentors, and was talking to him about like, hey, how do I continue growing in this career? And he's like, hey, Coach Lord gets this job, I'll put in a good word for you. And luckily he got the job, and I met with Coach Lord here and kind of got me in. So that's how I ended up here, as being the director of women's basketball operations.
Question. So you grew up in Edinburg. What junior high did you go to?
Junior high, I went to B.L. Garza Middle School. Shout out Coach Garcia, everybody there.
I could have swore, I thought you went to Harwell. I was like, you looked so familiar, so I didn't know if you went to school.
Matt, didn't you teach there for a little bit?
I used to teach at Harwell. Yes. Yeah, exactly. So you looked really familiar, and it's been stuck in my head since we met last week. And I was like, so familiar, but yeah.
Coach V did mention that there was a creeper that was working.
My mom listens to the show, dude. You can't. And thank God I have final edit. Like, why are you doing that? Like, it's not funny at all.
Your mom does listen to this show.
My mom is the only listener to this show.
Mama Palmquist, I didn't mean creeper in a bad way. I just meant that he had to duck in every doorway, and he creeped under every doorway.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, me creeping into any room doesn't help. It doesn't it even better. So no,
doesn't count. It does.
Yeah.
So, Coach V, Matt went back to your middle school. Talk to us about, we've talked to some Valley legends, women's basketball players that played in several different places. But, I think one of the things that I look at whenever we look at a Valley player that got to go and play at the next level, regardless of what their role was or how many minutes or, were they their MVP on their college team or whatever, regardless of all that. We always like to, you all are inspiration to Valley kids, because a lot of Valley kids are trying to get to where you got to. So, how did the love for sports, how did that kind of, start as a young girl growing up in the Valley?
I just would never sit down. I grew up playing soccer, actually. So I started soccer when I was really young, like 3 or 4 years old. And I played that pretty religiously. Then I added basketball into the mix, just fun. But I didn't really play organized basketball until about 5th grade. I think I joined a co-ed basketball team at the Edinburg Parks and Rec. And from there, one of my good friends, her dad saw me playing, and he had a travel club team, the Jammers, Coach Brown, Dante Brown. And he kind of reminded me like, hey, we have this team, and he talked to my parents and asked if I wanted to play. And so I said, yeah, let's play. And I was so intimidated because these girls that I was playing with, I mean, they're a year, 2 years older than me and really good. They had been playing on this team since they were younger. And so watching them play, Essence Brown, Danielle Vargas, Brandy Garcia, And then obviously I also maybe like 3 years older than me. You had Bianca Torre in the mix.
Yeah. But
Right.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Like,
We
Yeah.
definitely had role models to look at. I did, at least. My
Yeah.
older sister was also an athlete, so she, at the time when she was in high school, Mara Guzman was in high school, and so my sister also went to Edinburg North. Mara Guzman's at Edinburg High. You had that big, it's always a rivalry game, but the time when you
Yeah.
had Mara Guzman on their team, yeah, Edinburg High probably won most of those games. But getting to see like those players, those were always the players that I want to be better than them. I
Yeah.
gotta be better than them, so
Yeah.
that's how I got into the mix. But it all started with the Jammers traveling basketball team, AAU, and
Shout out Brown, man. Coach Brown.
Just out of curiosity, because one of our really good friends, and who obviously played at Edinburg High and then played at Pan Am or UTRGV, a guy by the name of Lalo Rios, right? How influential was, like, I know you mentioned a whole bunch of female players that had come out and played collegiate, that you kind of idolized and looked up to when you were playing. But was there, like, did you look at any of the guys that had like played in the Valley and then went on to play collegiately? Was that something that maybe kind of, inspired you, or you were just kind of in the moment, just want to play on the Jammers?
Really in the moment. I was actually pretty ignorant to the idea of playing college basketball up until maybe about 8th grade when I realized this could be a thing. Like, okay, dedicate some time and really locked down. I'm like, okay. And that's why when I went to high school, I cut out soccer. I was scared of getting slide tackled and just getting, ruined. It's a scary sport for me now. But yeah, so in high school, once I got there, I'm like, okay, if I'm gonna take this seriously, I'm gonna cut out soccer. I did stick with volleyball, but even then I quit that my sophomore year and just stuck to strictly basketball. But honestly, no, at the time I didn't know Lalo Rios was that big of a deal. I love Coach Rios, man. That guy.
Oh gosh, Coach V, the guy's a big deal. He's a big deal.
I didn't. Don't tell him I said that, but
no, he'll
great.
we'll,
I know
we'll
him as a great coach.
We'll send him that clip, Coach V.
But no, I didn't know that, and so really it was just wanted to be as good as Bianca Torre and Mara Guzman, because
that's awesome. That's awesome. Those are idols.
Yeah,
those are idols. Yeah.
Because, one of the biggest factors I think for us in the Valley is our height, right? It's like, you're not that tall. I don't know if you're gonna make it to that level. But I had 2 immediate role models for me right then and there. Like, okay, they can do it. I can do it too. Obviously, I had workouts with Bianca before. That girl lived in the gym, so I knew what it took. Like, she set a good example for what it takes. It's not just 2 hours a day. Like, no, you're definitely spending at least 8 hours a day in a hot gym.
You're working hard. Yeah.
Well,
how is it now? Like, when you run into her, obviously she lives in Edinburg. Like, is it like?
Oh, I recruited her to my women's basketball league team. I had her on my team. So, man, we kicked ass then. But
can you remember the moment that you met her? Like, were actually around her because you'd heard of her, but then you actually now get to be around her?
I was so intimidated by her when we were younger. I was like, oh my God. And then, we actually got to be on the same team, I think, at one point. And she's so cool. She's such a sweetheart, like super down to earth, most humble, funny, like human being you'd ever meet. You wouldn't think that she's lethal on the court, that she
she's a killer.
You can take whatever she wants from you and just lock
a killer.
Up.
Yeah.
Wow.
So, and same thing goes for Mara, and it's cool to see them now. Like the other day, Mara, she's now the head coach at Edinburg North, and she asked me to be one of the guest speakers at their sports banquet.
Wow.
So it was very cool to come full
circle moment. Yeah.
And I was telling her that I was like, dude, I play against her in the women's league too, so not looking forward to that game coming up, but it'll be good. It'll be good. No, but I told her, I was like, it's very cool. Like, thank you for having me, because growing up watching her play was somebody that when I was like, I want to be better than you, but admired, obviously.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. There's a respectful admiration. Yeah. Because we're all athletes, and so you want to prove your worth or prove your value, prove your abilities. So yeah, when you're in between the lines, you want to go at them, but at the same time, you
Oh,
you
yeah.
know, you respect them,
There's
Yeah, of course.
a mutual respect. I'm sure that they feel the same way about you.
Yeah.
They're
Oh,
probably
sure.
right now, they're probably worried about playing you. I'm just
Yeah.
saying.
Yeah, because you're in the gym, like you're in the gym every day,
Just,
and so this is something that watch
hey,
out, these
good luck, coach.
coming.
You're gonna have to let us know how that game goes.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah, we had our first one last week. We got the dub. We got another one tonight. The only thing, these games are so late now at 9:30 p.m. Like
Yeah, it's bedtime, baby.
it's the women's league, guys. Come on, give us an earlier time.
Yeah,
So,
sure, for sure.
by
So
6:30.
yeah, I need a 6:30 game. I'll actually have to let you guys know what time our
Hey,
game play against Mara.
well, G and I will be asleep, but just let us know what time the game is.
We'll have to do a recap with it or something.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Game
Well,
recap.
Jonah over there. Jonah can do the play-by-play.
I'm upset. Was there any you went through your high school, obviously there, you have accolades in high school. What was that like choosing a college? Were you recruited by different colleges? Did you have to go through like, oh man, a decision process? How did that work?
Honestly, I wouldn't say my recruitment was too big of a deal. Like, I had some JUCO offers, I think
Mhm.
Division III. But what I did was I literally looked up every single Division I school, smaller conferences, Southland Conference. I emailed every single school in the Southland Conference, and I actually really wanted to go to Sam Houston, but they had just signed like another guard, and they told me their roster was full. So I'm like, okay. SFA was the one school that responded. Coach Jody Greavy responded to my emails and saying, hey, their roster is full. They don't have any more scholarships to give out, but they'd be willing to take me on as a walk-on. And so, after a conversation with my parents, I was like, I really wanted to live that dream of, playing Division I basketball.
Yeah.
So my dad's a veteran, and so we had like the Hazelwood Act. So financially, it was something that it was going to be able to, we were able to help.
Yeah.
And so I took that. I accepted that walk-on position, and it was the best choice I think I've ever made.
Coach V, did you have a chance to play at UTRGV?
Their response, they also said that they had a full roster, and
They
so
had a full. Okay.
yeah,
Yeah.
they didn't have any more scholarships to give, and I didn't ask for a walk-on spot. Like if they would have considered me, maybe that would have changed the course of my life if I would have like,
Imagine
I'm willing to stay on as a
in the
walk-on.
backcourt, so.
But
Yeah.
I didn't ask that. So
Yeah.
all they was just like, hey, no, I'm sorry, we're full. So that's, I'm telling you, I literally emailed everybody asking for anything.
Wow.
Yeah.
It was the one that offered me a walk-on spot. And like, I've always been, hey, just give me that opportunity to prove myself, and I will. And junior year ended up with my scholarship. So
Nice. So when you're at SFA, did you ever, I think this is what you were asking. When you were at SFA, Coach, did you ever have a chance to come back to the Valley and play against Pena or UTRGV?
Yeah, that too. No, I was asking if UTRGV recruited her. Didn't be like, dude, who's the coach back then?
Yeah. You're not recruiting in your own backyard. Like, come on. Yeah. So
Who was the coach? I want to call him out right now. Who was
I think it might have been Denny Downing. I think.
Yeah, it was Denny. Yep.
Denny.
No wonder. All right. No wonder see talent right in his backyard. Anyway, move on. Next.
Unfortunately, no, we never got to play against UTRGV.
No.
I think it was the transition to UTRGV happened while I was over there at SFA.
Oh.
So we never got to play them. I think after I graduated, they actually ended up playing SFA came down to UTRGV to play in the WBI, I think it was.
Okay.
Yeah.
And got to see some of my old teammates and my old coaches come down, and yeah, it was a good game.
Wow. Now I'm glad G kind of brought that up with the Coach Downing thing, but given that experience that you felt as an athlete and being a homegrown kid and not really getting the look from the local university, and now you're on staff at said local university.
Yeah.
kind of tapped into all the, the coaches here, because you're a big deal now. You're not like, you're probably bigger than Lalo, but
No.
Oh, you are. Coach V, we're not laughing.
bigger than Lalo. Yeah.
You are.
Do you kind of take that to heart and like, hey, we've got to really, do you have meetings with Coach Lord and be like, we really got to kind of cultivate some of this homegrown talent and get some kids here at Pan Am and not so much worrying about going to like Sioux Falls, Iowa or San Diego, California,
Yeah, no, absolutely. I definitely tried to push promote these kids, because I mean, well, we did just sign Janae Coleman. She's going to be a freshman coming in from Robert Vela High School. So
Okay.
we've got a pretty good program there. I'm excited about that. We've had Brianna Sanchez on our roster. She's an Edinburg High alum as well. And then Annika Sines from Edinburg High. And so I'm definitely thankful Coach Lord and our staff have been open to bringing in kids from the Valley or local kids.
Yeah.
Give them an opportunity.
Well, wow, Coach V. Now, so you, I know, you're the experience that like talk, there are kids that actually watch this show. There's my high school kid watches this show. He's always make a reference to it. What would be your advice to those high school kids right now, trying to make it, trying to climb that ladder of success, trying to figure out their place, like what you mentioned, the height factor, the athletic factor, these guys are going out and playing AAU and they may come back and go, man, I don't know if I'm good enough, and they kind of, their dreams kind of get deflated a little bit. Right. What would be your words of inspiration, kind of, hone into that, what you told those Edinburg kids, at that banquet? What would be your words of inspiration for them, for somebody that's been through it and now is living her own
on the
dream?
other side of it? Yeah.
You're living the dream of coaching. I mean, you left, you could have easily gone the law route, but you're living your dream. So what would be some little pointers, nuggets that you would feed those kids that are listening?
It's going to be cliche, but you just literally can't give up. You promised yourself, you told yourself you wanted to do this. You have to stick to your own word that you gave yourself, and that's by pushing yourself every day, even getting, that cliche, that saying, you fall down, you got to get back up. Even in workout, that workout was really hard. You threw up, you felt like a failure through that workout. I promise you do it again the next day and the next day and the next day, and you'll get better. And some people recognize that hard work,
that's important. What you say when you say that is that you just keep working, you keep doing it, and that, somebody will recognize it. And whether it's sooner or later, right? Someday, working hard enough, somebody's going to recognize it.
Sometimes I was a walk-on, right? And those summer workouts were brutal. And I promise you, I was not the first one finishing in our sprints, or in our running our ramps. None of that. I was not the first. I was not the strongest. But I never gave up either. And somebody could see that, hey, she's not giving up. She's committed, for one, to our team. With this transfer portal age, it's hard to find like genuine commitment. Like, no, I gave my word to this coach. I wanted to be a part of the program. I'm sticking through it. And that's I think that's a very important trait to have, as a person in general.
Without a doubt.
Have that for yourself as well, because you said you wanted to accomplish that goal. So do yourself that justice and work for it. You can't let the quote unquote failures keep you down, because is there any failures? There's always something to learn from in every single loss.
I wouldn't say there's failures, definitely setbacks,
Yeah, exactly.
You know what? I'm listening to you and I'm thinking like and I know this is like G and I, this is kind of a regionally type based show, right? But like we have our setbacks and our failures too, right?
Mm-hmm.
Literally, we have people coming up to us and tell us, hey, we recognize you, or hey, great show, or I'm subscribed to your show. And so in the moments where we think we're like failing, we get these boosts of like, hey man, this
of confidence. Yeah.
So it's like people are So it's like we fall down, but then we get back up, and we just put out another crappy episode. And that's what we did.
It's just, for example, when we ran into Coach V and Coach V was looking at us and like, man, I recognize y'all. Coach V, you understand what you did for us that day.
Yes.
To everybody about it. No, you don't understand. You don't understand how much of an influence you had on two just dumb guys sitting
on the couch in the office. And that's what I was referring to that day when we were there. You were one of the ones that said, "You guys look familiar. Where do I know you from?"
Yeah, and you gave us that, Coach V. You remember that? You remember that? You kept us going. You kept us.
And now I'm on y'all's show, so love it.
And now you're on the show, right? And we just had to give gratitude.
5 more subscribers, I guarantee.
Yeah, big
my
time.
Mom, my dad, my sister, girlfriend, and I'll get one of my other coworkers.
The whole basketball team. That should be like initiation. Day one, right before the workouts. Let me see your phone, girls. Subscribe.
One less sprint for every subscriber.
Exactly. One less sprint for every subscribe. Yep.
We add that to our team meeting.
Yeah. We love your story, man. We love your, what you've done for yourself, what you continue to do, and what your ceiling is so high, with your attitude towards life. It started in athletics. Started with football, everything that you do, all those lessons you learn as an athlete. What's the goal moving forward? Where do you see yourself in 5 years?
Oh, well, one, I really enjoy. I love being a part of UTRGV. I know I didn't get the opportunity to play here or anything, but I grew up here, so to see the growth that it's had and the growing support from the community, it's been really cool, and I love the fact that I get to be a part of it.
You came to the games when they were like as a kid, and you saw And so now you're on the other side, and you see everything how it's grown. I love that aspect of it. I love that. That's amazing.
Like when I get the girls to go out to do community service, participate in basketball camps, local things, go to pep rallies, whatever it is, like I consistently remind them, like, you guys are role models for these kids. Like, it happened to me whenever I went to these basketball camps, and I'd try to show off, and I was like, 8 years old, and trying to make myself noticed by these players. And so I try to remind them, like, hey, you guys are kind of a big deal. So and that's what
getting back to G's question, where's the end game for Coach Pena? Like, where,
head coach for Division I. That's what I want to.
UTRGV maybe one day. No, I would love to work in a Power 5 conference one day, and Power 5 school.
The way Chase is going, UTRGV is going to be in the Big 12 soon, so.
And that's the thing. We work with such smart people. The opportunity to learn here, it's never ending.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad we could make you feel a lot smarter today. Coach V, speaking of smart and opinions and all of that good stuff, we need to ask you a couple of questions before we go into the speed round of questions, or that. Okay. First of all, we need to know where your favorite place to eat is, because we like to blast, out and call out different eating establishments. Yeah. What would be your favorite place to eat in the Rio Grande Valley?
Yes. I mean, you're an Edinburg woman. Like you've eaten everywhere, right? So.
Yeah. I don't know. That's actually.
And you can't pull a Bianca. Bianca said her mom's house. Like you can't.
I'm cooking now, so like I cook. I love my food. My parents' house, probably. Gotta love my parents' food.
Your parents' house. How about do you know a local mom and pop restaurant that you'd like to shout out?
Yeah.
Trevino's. Trevino's over. Trevino's.
Oh, Trevino's. Edinburg staple right there.
Yeah. Trevino's. I love their food. It's another place. There's actually down the street one that I forget about, and I'm like, wait, if we want to show them some good, authentic, just good food, it's nearby campus. It's La Taquiza. It's here next to Walmart, and it's in this plaza, kind of there in the corner, but their food is so good.
Shout out to
We got to
Lisa.
try that place next time. Coach V, you're gonna chaperone us there next time we're there. You're gonna take us. So
Yeah, they have frijoles preparados. So just,
okay.
you know, the beans in the cup, but on steroids. So it's so good. So good.
So Coach V, the second question is, we have a soundtrack. I don't know if you've listened to it.
I did. It was like, I was like, wow.
Spotify Saddle Up soundtrack.
We're not a big deal as Lalo, but we're kind of a big deal, you know. So.
We're kind of a big deal. We'd like for you to contribute the song that you used to warm up to in high school or in college, whichever one, whatever song got you hyped to play in.
Yeah.
Oh god, it was that "Bring 'Em Out" song. Bring 'em out, bring 'em out.
Bring them out.
Yeah, you know what I'm talking about.
Oh yes, bring
It
them
was like
out.
everybody's
By
run out
T.I.,
song.
right?
That what?
By T.I.
Yes, like
Bring 'em
yeah.
out, bring 'em- Yes. Okay.
It was
That's a
it was
good
like
one.
everybody's run out song at that time. And it was just like,
All right.
oh, yeah, let's go.
I'm pulling it up. I'm gonna add it right now.
Oh man, Coach V, you contributed to the Spotify Saddle Up soundtrack. Wow. That's
There's
awesome.
also that one
Now,
that-
what about a song now that you listen to, like driving to work? Like, I got to deal with these athletes. I don't feel like it today. Like, I got to get hyped for this. Like, I got to deal with Coach Lane Lord and his BS. Like, what am I going to do? Shout out to Coach Lord, by the way. Lane, we love you. But
We love
what are
it, buddy.
you listening to now?
Right. I'm listening to every time I get in the car, it's the first song that I've been playing. It's Enjoy the Silence by Depeche Mode.
Depeche
Depeche
Mode.
Mode. Depeche Mode.
There you go.
I feel so old now. You said Depeche Mode.
Dun, 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 dun.
But it's so good. Like it's groovy and it's good.
What was it again? What was the name of the song?
Enjoy the Silence.
Enjoy the
Enjoy the silence. Yep.
Depeche. Okay, both songs are added now, so you can listen to Coach Pena's choices on
Oh, God.
Saddle Up
Coach
Spotify soundtrack.
Oh,
Coach
nice.
V, that takes us right into this or that. Okay. So you're gonna give me I'm gonna give you Wonder Woman or Catwoman. You tell me which one, top of your head, which one you think is best in your eyes. All right. Which one you would choose. So you're choosing this one or that one. Okay. All right. You got it. Speed round for some Wing Barn gift cards. All right. 10 locations all around the Rio Grande Valley. Shout out to Wing Barn. Thank you for the gift cards and thank you for hooking our good people from the Valley that come onto this show, like Coach V. All right. You ready?
Let's do it.
Are you nervous?
I am. Yep.
You should be very nervous.
Yeah.
Ready? Superman or Batman?
Batman.
Okay. Tom and Jerry's or Blackbeard's restaurant at the island?
Blackbeards.
Coke or root beer?
Coke.
Oh, okay. Jordan or LeBron?
Jordan.
Wow. Mustard or ketchup?
Ketchup. Easy.
Okay. That was like, why are you asking that question? Blue Marlin Supermarket or HEB?
HEB.
Yeah, that's a no-brainer.
How
Ice
would
bath, ice bath or sauna?
Sauna.
Okay. Snoop Dogg or Eminem?
Snoop Dogg.
All right.
Well, say that. What was it?
Beach or mountains?
Oh man, that's hard.
Yeah.
The beach.
Oh, okay. Surfing or boogie boarding?
Boogie boarding, just because I've never been surfing. I would love to try it one day. I think I could get
I love it. Peanut butter or jelly?
jelly.
Okay. Boat or plane?
Plane.
Caitlin Clark or Kennedy Carter?
Caitlin Clark.
Yeah, Caitlin. Okay. Scary or drama?
Drama.
Rap or country?
Country.
Ooh. All right. Good job, Coach V. Now, Coach V, I'm not going to be mean to Matt. I'm going to let Matt ask his final question. Go ahead, Matt.
All right. So the question I have for you, you're drawing up a side out of bounds play with like 3 seconds left on the clock, and you're tied. You got G in the corner. You got me coming off a slip screen, pick and roll for a lob dunk, right? Mind you, you've seen me in person. I'm 6'10". G is maybe 5'6". G's face. G's maybe 5'7", on a good day with the wind blowing correctly.
Sure, buddy.
What play are you drawing up? Who's getting the ball?
For the last shot, Coach V. For the last shot. Win or lose.
Who are we playing?
Go to OT. Who
are we playing? What's the scout look like?
I mean, whoever we're playing, we're close because we're tied. So it doesn't really, that we're really trying to look at who are you going to trust with the ball. That's what we're trying to get to. All
righty. The slip screen hit Matt.
There you go. It is now 4-3 G. 4-3.
I'm at home.
And we are running to the locker room with a W, Coach Pena. Thank you very much. Like,
Coach V, man, I'm Valley made, Valley born, Valley made. How could you do that to me? How could you gave this dude from Bastrop life? Like, you're gonna give him the ball? You give me okay? No, can't change
it. Cut. And now I feel the Valley guilt. The Valley
guilt. I gave you the mother, father, the parent guilt. That's what I did. But hey, Coach, that is a good choice. Matt Palmquist was like 1 for 32 for lob dunks in his college career. So you made the right choice because he's gonna make this one for you. Because you're a veteran. You're awesome. You're a motivator. You're the backbone of UTRGV. Yep. Coach Lord should be happy to have you on this squad, and can't say enough for you being on the show. Thank you so much for joining us.
You're a blessing, you're a blessing and inspiration for every single athlete, whether they be boy or girl. Like you were definitely up there with somebody that these high school, these athletes in the Valley playing high school or even junior high, they should be looking up to you and saying, hey, if Coach Pena can do it and play college ball and then, be a coach at the collegiate level, I can too. So you're just an inspiration. And I'm so glad that we finally got to meet last week and have you on the show.
Yeah, thank you guys. It was very good meeting you guys too. Hopefully both of you guys back on campus soon before season starts and kick off season that way.
Yeah. And Coach, do you need our address so you and Coach can send us some Lady Vaquero gear so we can wrap it on the show?
No worries, Matt. I'll go pick it up for you.
Yeah.
There you go.
I got
you. You guys will take care of you.
Oh, I know. You're awesome. Coach V, you're welcome back anytime. Till next week, guys. It's been another great episode of Saddle Up Podcast. G, you got anything last to say?
No, Coach V is the best. She's the GOAT.
V's up, guys.
V's up, guys. Thank you.
Like, we weren't supposed to come up with something this clean. Like, something happened.